Hi, welcome to my channel. By the end of the video, if you think I've helped you, do subscribe to my channel, like the video and share it with your friends. Thank you very much. In this video, we are going to solve Cambridge IGCSE Mathematics Paper 4 Extended Variant 4-2, October-November 2019, question number 5 onwards. So the first question, the table shows some values of y is equal to, and we have to complete the table. So in place of x, substitute -1. You just have to put in the calculator. Remember to put brackets properly, and you will get the answer 3.5. When you substitute 0.2, you will get 15.02, but we'll round it to the whole number, which is 15. And when we substitute 3, we'll get 3.9, correct to 1 decimal place. Part B, on the grid, draw the graph of y is equal to, so we have to plot these points here. So this is our x-axis and this is our y-axis. When x is -3, y is 5.3. That's our first point. When x is -2, y is 3.3, which will be here somewhere. And then when x is -1, y is 3.5. So the same way we are going to plot all the points. So we plotted both the sides. Now we have to join the points. Part C, use your graph to solve x square over 2 plus 1 over x square minus 2 over x, which is our equation, is less than or equal to 0. You can see these points here where it touches the x-axis. On the x-axis, y is equal to 0, so that's our answer. 0.5 and 1.6. If you had the answer between 0.5 to 0.6, and for the other point between 1.3 to 1.6, you will be marked right. Question number D. Find the smallest positive integer value of k for which our equation is equal to k has two solutions for the points given here. I hope you realize that when you are having a number after your equation like 0 and k, that is your y values. Integer means whole numbers. So -1, -2, 1, 2, 3. But we are looking at the smallest positive integer, which has two values. So now let's see here. If we draw a line here, at y is equal to 1, we have two answers. It cuts the graph at two places. So does 2 and 3. But we are looking at the smallest positive integer. Therefore, your answer is 1. Next, by drawing a suitable tangent, suitable straight line, we have to solve this equation, and the line has been given to us 3x plus 1. So our line is y is equal to 3x plus 1. We will choose 2 points and find the y values. So let's take the biggest x value. So when x is 3, what is the value of y? 10. So when x is 3, y is 10 is your 1 point. That is here. For the other point, let's take when x is 0. When x is 0, y is 1. That is your second point, which is here. Now we'll join the 2 points together and make a line. So this is our line, and it cuts the graph at this point. So this is 0.3. X is equal to 0.3. If your answer is between 0.3 to 0.49, that is fine. Part 2 of the question. This equation can be written as this, and we need to find A, B, and C. So let's write down the equation. Is equal to 3x plus 1. You can see in this equation given here, we don't have anything in the denominator. So to do that, we will remove these denominators. We need to have a common denominator. And the same rules which you will apply for fraction solving with numbers, we'll do that. How can you have a common denominator here? You see there's a 2 here. Do you have a 2 here? You don't. So you multiply by a 2 here and a 2 here. When you multiply in the denominator, you also multiply in the numerator. Then you have x square here. You don't have an x square here. So times by x square. Same thing, numerator and denominator. In this fraction, we have 1x, but we have x square here. So we'll times with 1x here and 1x here. Now let's simplify it. When you multiply two variables, you add the power. Therefore, x square multiplied by x square is x to the power of 4. 1 multiplied by 2 is 2 minus 4x over 2x square is equal to 3x plus 1. Cross multiply, put a bracket, 3x plus 1 multiplied by 2x square. So you have x to the power of 4 plus 2 minus 4x is equal to 6x square, to the power of 3 plus 2x square. Now the like terms will bring all the terms on one side because that's the way the equation is there. So minus 6x cubed minus 2x square minus 4x plus 2. So what is our A? Negative 6. And B is negative 2. And C is negative 4. Question number 6. This is a trigonometry question. The diagram shows triangle ABC. Use the cosine rule to calculate BC. Two sides and the included angle has been given to us. So the cosine rule is A square is equal to B square plus C square minus 2BC cos A. It's a 4-mark question. Please memorize the rule. So we'll just replace it. A square is the side that we need to find. B square and C square can be either of the side, and the angle we need to find BC, so we need to have the angle opposite it. So we'll write BC square is equal to 8 square plus 13 square minus 2 multiplied by 8 multiplied by 13 cos 79. You can either put this in the decimal or you can write the whole thing under the square root and write the whole answer at one go. If you do so, you don't have to round it before. And 13.9 is the answer that we got. So BC is 13.9 meters. A very easy question if you know your formula. Next question. Use the sine rule to calculate angle ACP. So this is the angle we are looking at, and the sine rule is sine A over A, sine B over B, sine C over C. The top is to find your angle, and the small c is the opposite side. So angle sine C over the opposite side, which is 13, is equal to sine A, which is sine 79, and the side opposite it, which is BC, we found BC, which was 13.9. Therefore, sine C is equal to sine 79 over 13.9 multiplied by 13. You can put this in the calculator now, or write sine inverse, put a bracket, and put everything together in the calculator. Multiply by 13. And we will get 66.6. So angle ACB is 60.6 degrees. Part B. We have been given a triangle and the area of triangle DEF is 70 square meters. Show that 4x squared plus 11x minus 300 is equal to 0. So you can understand that this has something to do with area. It's not a right angle triangle, as you can see very clearly. If it's not a right angle triangle and you want to find the area, we use the formula half AB sine C. A and B are your sides and C is your angle in between. So using this formula, area, which is 70, is equal to half times x plus 4 times 4x minus 5 into sine 30. This we have to simplify now. The first thing we'll do, we'll not open the brackets at the moment. We always should deal with the numbers first. So sine 30, put in the calculator and see what you get. You will get half. So 70 is equal to half times half is 1 over 4, x plus 4, 4x minus 5. This is a divide. When I move to the other side, it will be a multiply. 70 multiplied by 4 is equal to, now we'll expand the brackets. X times 4x is 4x squared and x times negative 5, negative 5x. 4 multiplied by 4 is 16x and 4 multiplied by negative 5, negative 20. So 280 is equal to 4x squared plus 11x minus 20. Bring the 280 to this side and you will have this equation 4x squared plus 11x minus 20. It's a positive 280. When you bring to the other side, it will be a negative 280. And we got the answer which they asked us to get. Use the quadratic formula to solve this equation. Show all your working and give your answer correct to 2 decimal place. The quadratic formula is x is equal to negative b plus and minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. It's again a 4-mark question. You have seen that many questions you can solve and get the answers right. You just have to do substitution if you know your formulas well. So when you're solving past papers, you should at the end of the book or somewhere make your notes and write down all the formulas that you need to know and start memorizing them. What is our A? Our A is 4 and B is 11. The number before x is your B, the number before x squared is your A. And C is the number that does not have an x, so that is negative 300. So we now will just substitute everything. Negative 11 plus and minus square root 11 square minus 4 multiplied by 4 and C is negative 300 over 2 multiplied by A, which is 4. Write the square root sign like this, and 2 multiplied by 4 in the denominator is 8. These numbers put together in the calculator without the square root and write the answer here. It is 4921. Therefore, x is equal to negative 11 plus square root 4921 over 8, and the second value of x is Negative 11 minus square root 4921 over 8. Let's write this as a decimal now. We'll get 7.393. Rounding it to 2 decimal place will give us 7.39. And this will give us negative 10.14. So rounding it to 2 decimal place is negative 10.14. We can just leave it like this. So we are done with this question. Find the length of DE. This is DE and x plus 4. So which x are we going to use? We cannot use the negative one because sides cannot be negative. So 7.39. 7.39 plus 4. The answer is 11.39 meters. You can round it to 1 decimal place if you want. Question number 7. This is a function question. The first question. Find f of negative 3. F of negative 3. So in place of x, in f of x, we'll substitute negative 3. That will give you 13. Next, find h of g of 30. If you have a question like that, let's first find g of x. So g of 30 we'll find. In place of x, we'll substitute 30. That will give us 1 over 3. Now this answer will substitute in place of x with h. So 27 to the power of 1 over 3. And we will get 3. Next one, we have to find the inverse of f of x. F of x, we will change it into y is equal to 7 minus 2x. And your main aim here is to make x the subject. Negative 2x is with x, we'll move it to the other side to make it positive. 7 minus y. Divide 7 minus y by 2. Now that your x is the subject, in place of x, you will write f inverse x. And substitute the y with x. 7 minus x over 2. So that is how you find your inverse. Part B, solve g of 2x plus 1 is equal to 4. G of x is equal to 10 over x. So g of 2x plus 1, in place of x, we'll substitute 2x plus 1, make it equal to 4. Cross multiply, and we will get 8x plus 4. The positive 4 when we bring to the other side will be negative, so 6 is equal to 8 over x. Divide the 6 by 8 and you will get 0.75 is x. So x is equal to 0.75. Part C, simplify giving your answer as a single fraction. 1 over f of x plus g of x. F of x is 7 minus 2x and g of x is 10 over x. So let's start. 1 over 7 minus 2x because that is our f of x plus 10 over x. It's an algebraic fraction, and like any fraction, you need to have a common denominator if you're adding or subtracting a fraction. So we'll multiply this side by x and this by 7 minus 2x. Remember to put a bracket. Now that part is done, so we have a common denominator, we can write it as 1. So 7 minus 2x multiplied by x. No need to expand the bracket. And now we'll solve the numerator part. 1 multiplied by x will give us x, and 10 multiplied by 7 is 70. 10 multiplied by negative 2x will give you negative 20x. Add the like terms together. X minus 20x will be negative 19x over x, 7 minus 2x. So that's our answer. Next, find H inverse 19683. When you want to find the inverse of a function which has x in the power and the value is given to you, try to find this number 27 to the power of what will give you 19683, and you will find that 27 to the power of 3 is 19,683. Therefore, the answer is 3. Question number 8 is changing the subject. We have to make P the subject. The first one, so 5P is equal to M minus 7. This is a multiply. When you bring to the other side, the 5 will be in the divide. So P is equal to M minus 7 over 5. In P, our P is negative. So the first thing, the subject must not be negative. Let's bring the P to the other side to make it positive. Y square, and the H will bring the here. Negative H it will be is equal to 2P square. We are going to remove the 2. It's a multiply. It will be a divide. And this is a square. So if you want to remove the square, you have to square root the opposite side. So square root y square minus h over 2 is equal to p. And we write the answer here. Y square minus h 2, the whole thing in a square root. And one more thing, whenever we square root, we have to put a plus or a minus. So that's our answer. Part B, we have been given 2 points on a grid and write OA as a column vector. OA. Before we start solving this question, just let's write down. In a column vector, the top number represents x and the down represents y. If your x is positive, it means your x is moving to the right. And if your y is positive, it's moving upwards. And negative to the right, and negative y means moving downwards. So you can see from O to A. What is the point O? It's the origin, it's 0, 0. And we are just moving up. So there's a change in your y. The x is not changing. So the column vector is 0, 5. Next, write AB as a column vector. When you want to find AB, okay, we have to minus from B, A. B is negative 3, 4 minus 0, 5. And we will get negative 3 minus 0 is negative 3, 4 minus 5, negative 1. So the vector AB is negative 3, negative 1. A and B lie on a circle, center O. Calculate the length of the arc AB. And it's a 6 marks question. This question requires some thinking. Let's first see what is an arc. If you join these two lines, this is your arc. This is the length of the arc we are supposed to find. To find the length of the arc, we use a formula. Arc length is equal to theta over 360 multiplied by 2 pi r. Theta is your angle. This is your theta here. And r is your radius. Radius, as you can see, is 5. We already got that radius is 5. But we don't have the theta, so we need to find the theta. To find the angle, we can use the cos rule. This is the cos rule, but for using the cos rule, we also need to have all the 3 sides. We have got 2 sides. As this is the radius, this is 5 centimeter, and this is also the radius, this is 5 centimeter. We need to find first this side. And to find this side, we can just use the length or the distance formula. This is the length formula, x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square, and the whole answer square root. Let's write down the points. So we have A is 0, 5 and B is 3, 4. To use the formula, we are finding AB. Let's write AB instead of D, AB. So it's x2 minus x1, 0 minus 3 square plus 5 minus 4 square. Just put the whole thing in the calculator. I just realized that B is negative 3. Sorry about that. So you change the signs here. And when you put this in the calculator, you will get 3.16. So now you have got your side AB. Using the cos rule, we will find the angle which is here, this angle here. So cos A is equal to B square plus C square minus A square over 2BC. B and C can be either of the side, but A has to be the side opposite the angle. Therefore, cos A or cos O is equal to 5 square plus 5 square minus 3.16 square. That is the side opposite the angle we want to find, over 2 times 5 times 5. You can put the thing in the calculator now or write cos inverse, and we put everything to calculator at one go. This will give us 36.8. So this angle here is 36.8. Now that we know our angle and we also have the radius, we can use the arc length formula to get our answer. For the arc length AB is equal to 36.8 over 360 multiply by 2 multiply by pi multiply by 5, and we will get 3.21. So that's our answer. A very long question. If you knew these rules, then you will have been able to connect the dots. Question number 9. Car A and car B take part in a race around a circular track. One lap of the track measures 7.6 kilometers. Car A takes 2 minutes and 40 seconds to complete each lap of the track. And part A is calculate the speed of car A. Give your answer in kilometers per hour. To find speed, we use the formula distance over time taken. The distance is 7.6 kilometers and time is 2 minutes and 40 seconds. But we want our answer in hour. So we need to change the minutes and the seconds into hour. To change 2 minutes into hour, we divide by 60. And to change the seconds into hour, we first divide by 60 and then by 60. So that will give you 2/45. So now that we know our time in hours, we are just going to divide by 2/45. We'll get 171. So speed is 171 kilometers per hour. Next part of the question. Both cars start the race from the same position S at the same time. Find the time taken when both car A and car B are next at position S at the same time. Give your answer in minutes and seconds. For this question, you need to find the LCM, the lowest common multiple of the time taken. Let's go back to our previous question. We have this fraction here. Let's make it into a single fraction. To do that, we need the same denominator, right? So multiply by 60 here, multiply by 60 here. Don't put everything in the calculator, just the numerator. That will give us 2 multiplied by 60, 120 plus 40, and the denominator 60 multiplied by 60, 3600. Again, just put the denominator in the numerator, not the whole fraction. So we got this. Let's keep it. The same we are going to do for car B. Car B had taken 2 minutes and 25 seconds. So 2 minutes, we'll convert it into hour, and 25 seconds into hours. So divide by 60, multiply by 60. Common denominator, multiply by 60 here and 60 here. Just the numerator again, you will get 145 over 3600. We need to know when this is going to equal the other car time taken. So this will get cancelled. We have to find the prime factors of 145 and 160, LCM, whichever way you understand. I'll show you the most common one used. We will find the prime factorization of 145. So we have to divide it by prime numbers. We start with the smallest prime number, 2. It's an odd number, so you cannot divide it by 2. Then let's take the next prime number, 3. We cannot divide it. Then that's 5. So 29. 29 is also a prime number. So the prime factorization of 145 is 5 multiplied by 29. Now of 160. 160 is an even number. We can divide by 2. 80 can be divided by 2. 40 can be divided by 2. 20 can be divided by 2. And 10 can be divided by 2. And 5 with 5. So the prime factorization of 160 is 2 to the power of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 5. What is common here? 5 is common. So LCM is equal to that 5 which is common, write it one time. Multiply by the other numbers which are there. And we will get 4640. We have to divide this answer by 60. And when you do that, you will have 232 over 3. The reason we divided by 60 is this is in minutes, and we want to write the answer in minutes and seconds. This, you could write it as a mixed fraction. You just have to, this equation, when you put in the calculator, do shift and there's an SD button, press it. When you do that, you will have 77 1/3. So 77 minutes, and to convert 1/3 minutes to seconds, multiply by 60. That will give you 20. To convert the minutes into seconds, you multiply by 60, so you will get 20 seconds. I hope you have understood this question. Next one. Find the distance that car A has traveled at this time. To find the distance that car A has traveled, we need to know the distance formula. Distance is equal to speed multiplied by time. Speed we found in the previous question is 171. Time is 77 minutes and 20 seconds. 171 is kilometer per hour, and this is in minutes and seconds, so we have to convert it into hours. I'll show you a way to do it in the calculator. Most of the time questions you can do in the calculator. I'll show you how to. So in the calculator, we will write it in this format: 171 multiplied by. This is your hour, this is your minute, and this is your second. To convert into 77 minutes and 20 seconds into hour. We don't have hour here. So we write 0 and press this button here. And then you write 77, press this button again, write 20, press this button again. And this is the answer you will get. But we want to write it in a distance form. Then press Shift and SD. Press it 2 times. And when you press it 2 times, you will get the answer 220.4 kilometers. I hope you have understood, and if you haven't, you can mention in the comment section. I'll try to explain it again. This brings us to the end of this video. I hope I've helped you. Kindly subscribe to my channel, like the video, and do share it with your friends. If you want me to solve any particular exam paper or topic, mention in the comment section. I'll try to help you out. Thank you for watching.